Cadillac LYRIQ has been very successful for GM, and this year they're offering you something even more exciting. And today, we're going to review it. Let's roll! Special thanks for today's video goes to our great friends at Buds, Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC. They're a dealership located in Oakville, Ontario, Canada. And they're kind enough to allow me to borrow this thing for the day, take it for a spin. In fact, this is my first time ever reviewing a LYRIQ. Meet the all-new Cadillac LYRIQ V. The first ever LYRIQ V. Now you probably know about the V brand. We've got the CT5V, we've got the CT4V, you've got also the Blackwing. So potentially there might be a Blackwing version of this down the road because they do offer a Cadillac Escalade V with a Blackwing engine. But let's begin first with the front ends. First up, you notice this thing doesn't have a natural grille like you'd see most vehicles because it is EV. But what it does have, it's a unique design for the LYRIQ V, which is this beautiful front end with beautiful wings that light up and they have their own effect. Next thing, you've got the lip at the front, the bumper, which is more aggressive, more sport. In fact, the entire vehicle is lowered to give it a better stance because at the end of the day, it's supposed to look sporty and feel the same way. Next thing, with this package, we get 22-inch wheels and they've got a little logo that says a V on the side so that you know that this is not the standard LYRIQ. And then you look at the beautiful big caliper, 6 pistons for the front because you want to slow this thing down when you're going pretty fast. Painted in red, which I'm a big fan of it. Moving on to the side profile, the first thing you notice is the door handles. They pop in their own unique way so that you get access to the doors. And then moving on to the bottom side, we have the side skirt again with that entire V design, the sporty stance, plus the V badge on the side so that you know this is the LYRIQ V. The charging port is located onto the left side of the vehicle, just in front of the driver's door. You press that and it automatically opens and you get access to the charging, which in this case offers, of course, supercharger, and there's this light that lights up at nighttime so that you know how to insert essentially the charger. And then you press this and then it closes the door. Cut. Moving on to the rear end. When you look at this thing from the back, it doesn't look like your standard SUV. It looks more like a coupe. Beautiful flow all the way through, including the tail lights. It's massive, but it's one piece, starts to the left and all the way around it. A nice touch. Next thing, the spoiler at the top. Why? Why is the spoiler there in an electric vehicle? Better drag, looks better, looks more sporty. That's the whole point. Next, we've got the diffuser at the bottom, which is a proper diffuser. And you're probably wondering, does this thing really need that kind of diffuser? Well, it doesn't really matter. It's for aerodynamics, better range. It flows well. The air flows through from the bottom all the way to the back. That's the whole point. Plus, it looks very sporty. Next thing, we have the V badge located onto the right side and the LYRIQ badge on the left, so that if you're following this thing from the back, you know this is the LYRIQ V. In terms of paint choices, well, with the LYRIQ V, you get up to 7. The one that we have for today is a silver metallic, which I kind of like it, but I have seen these in red and they look even better in my opinion. Okay, let's jump into the second row. My first time ever being in the second row of a LYRIQ. I don't know why I never booked these, but I'm sure I was waiting for the LYRIQ V, you know, the more exciting one. First thing, you jump in, I put the seat in the front as I was a driver, so you get tons of space. This beautiful seat here, kind of like a sporty design, like bucket style with a beautiful stitching, some space over into this side. We've got a climate unit in the back for heated seats. With heated seats, there's a 115 volts charging port at the bottom, so you can charge your laptop or anything that features that kind of voltage. And then we've got the Cadillac badge, beautiful metal finish, love that. 2 USB-C ports, there's an armrest in here, and beautiful visibility, lots of space, lots of room. We've got a panoramic roof all the way across, premium audio system in this case, which is nice and handy. The seats are super comfortable. They've got a nice stitching and the whole pattern in the center, plus the headrest. They have a very unusual design. Kind of like it. Now, the fun part is at the front. Let's talk about it. Now, before we jump into the front row where all the fun begins, important thing, the front doors for the passenger and the driver get this illuminated door sill with a V badge, which I kind of like it. It's a nice touch, so before you get in, you know this is not a standard LYRIQ. And then you jump inside, and here's where the fun begins. This thing doesn't have a start and stop button. It actually starts automatically once you jump in. And then, if you wanted to turn off, all you do is open the door, release the brake, and then just walk away, and the vehicle turns off. In this case, I'm still inside sitting, and that's about it. I know some people will need time, but guess what? It still gives you the option to turn it off through the screen. So you don't get a physical button to turn it off and turn it on, but you get that option on the screen. Now, let's jump inside and let's talk about everything it offers in here. Jumping inside, you're welcomed by this beautiful curved display behind the steering wheel. This is kind of your standard design now that Cadillac is using. Not the same as the big Escalade, for example, or the Escalade IQ. This is more smaller. You can see this and feel it, which I think I kind of like it even more because it's not on your face. You still get a heads-up display. Now, moving on to the steering wheel. This is a nice, beautiful touch, grippy. We've got this piece at the top, which is for your Super Cruise. You've got your standard buttons, and because it is the V, you got a V badge in here that puts you into the fun mode, basically. And then beautiful carved out portion of the steering wheel at the bottom. There is the Cadillac badge, which I initially thought was a button to press. Thank God I didn't break it. It felt like it was like a button to press, but that's about it. Beautiful. There is a pedal shifter behind it. Now, this is super important when you drive. Why do I say that? You can actually use it as a brake because it is for regeneration. And if you don't want to brake, you can use that and charge the battery and slow down the vehicle. That means you use the brakes less. Brilliant. The steering column itself, it is power, of course, because it is a Cadillac at the end of the day. Now, let's move on to the screen side. There's a couple of options. You can do touchscreen for the infotainment, or you can just use the scroll button as sensor. Now, this is brilliant. Why? You don't have to clean this all the time. Don't use your fingers, don't use any of that, don't let your kids use the fingers. So let's start one by one. We've got the driving modes in this case, your sport, snow, my modes, and then there is V mode. V mode, you can adjust everything, your steering, your suspension, your brake feel. You can pretty much control everything from here, so whatever you wanted. Like, let's just say during the day, you don't want to have full modes, you can do the motor sound as well. You've got your V mode, there is stealth mode, and then you've got your sport mode, and that's for the motor sound, and we'll talk about when we go for a drive, but this just gives you different modes. So you can keep it in tour where it's quiet. You can adjust all of these options, and then you go back into the main menu. You've got your My Cadillac, which gives you option to connect your phone. There's Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Now, don't forget, this entire infotainment is based off Android. So for some people, it might be very familiar. We've got the cluster in the center, which is essentially one piece with the entire infotainment in this case. And then on the left side, then on the side here, we have more settings for the screen. For the main menu, which it is touchscreen, it shows you your trip. You can control the heads-up display. It does offer augmented reality in this case. And you got your, here we go. You can do standards, assists, or augmented reality for a heads-up display, which is pretty insane. On the left side, we've got the buttons for, or the control unit in this case, for the seats. You've got your heated seats, ventilated seats in this case, and massage seat, which you can control with this button located onto the side. Plus, you can adjust the seats. Same thing for the passenger side. Another thing I noticed is this beautiful seat for the driver and the passenger. Plus, there is a little V badge in here with a V flag so that you know this is the V LYRIQ. But it's a nice touch, and the beautiful leather, the pattern in the center, the stitching, the headrests are just as nice. Very comfortable seats. Last part, it's the key. Of course, it has the V badge like the other V vehicles. Plus, you've got your controls here to open the tailgate and lock and unlock. And the last part is driving it. It's my first time driving a LYRIQ, and my first time actually driving the LYRIQ V. So let's go for a drive. Okay, to put this thing into launch control modes. You turn this on, and now it says, here we go. Come on, turn it on, and now it's in full VMAX. So all you have to do is slow down, put your foot on the brake. Launch control is actually going to time it. What the? Woo! Damn, that's fast. Woo! That was not expected at all. Whoa! Okay, this thing it's quick off the line. That really took me by surprise. Like, didn't even keep time of 0 to 100. Like, wow! I gotta do that one more time before we talk about the horsepower. I just gotta find the spot because that was actually neck breaking. Here we go. Foot on the brake. It reset everything. What? Whoa! Wow! That's crazy. Wow! I love this thing. This thing is so addictive. Like, whoa! That's fast. Okay, let's talk about this beauty. First up, it's quiet. Yes, it is quiet. I'm just kidding with you guys. Horsepower and torque on this. Whoop! 615 brake horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 in about 3.2 seconds. Quite impressive. Now, this thing shares a lot with the Acura ZDX, which is essentially a GM vehicle. Clearly, even Honda believes that GM makes great EVs. Charging, because that's important. This thing has a battery of 102 kilowatts an hour. You can charge it from 0 to 80% in about 40 minutes with, of course, fast charging. Next thing, you can get up to 138 kilometers within 10 minutes. Of course, every battery after 80% slows down. That's not rocket science. Now, in terms of the range, keep in mind, wintertime, all EVs drop their range by like 10 to 13%, depending on the weather, of course. This one gets up to 285 miles on a full charge, or 460 kilometers for the rest of us. How does it feel driving? Well, right now I have it in tour mode. It's comfortable, it's quiet. I kind of like this more than the big Escalade EV, or IQ as they call it. It's pretty much the same. It just feels like the perfect size SUV. But it does drive differently than that Acura ZDX or ZDX. Price-wise, in the US, you're looking about $86,000 for the base model, about $92,000 for the premium, the one that we have for today's video. It's the premium. In Canada, it starts at about $101,000 Canadian. The base model, you're looking at about $92,000. This one, it's the premium, which means it has pretty much everything, including one of my favorite features, the rear view mirror turns into a camera. Now, you've got a magic button over here. You press that and you go yourself into full V mode and whoop, it pulls. I mean, by now we know EVs are fast, but they're quick off the line in most cases. They can do crazy 0 to 60 times compared to ICE cars. With this package, you also get Super Cruise. So you get onto the highway and the vehicle drives itself within major highways. So right now I'm kind of like city drive, but if you go into major highways, it turns on this light over here on the dash, on the steering wheel, and it tells you that the cruise control, or Super Cruise in this case, it is on. It can do lane switch itself. It can keep you within the lanes. You don't have to keep your hands on the wheel. You are required. Some states in the US don't need you, but in Canada, you're still required to keep your hands on the steering wheel at all times because the law says so. The vehicle is only offered as an all-wheel drive. If you want a rear-wheel drive model, you have to get the base model because, of course, this is the fast version, hence why you can get 0 to 60 in like 3.2 seconds. Okay, let me show you that pedal on the left of the steering wheel. So you go fast, you press it, and I'm not even pressing the brake at all, and it slows down the vehicle. It's recharging it. So you don't even have to use the brake. I mean, you can just let go to the throttle and it will slow down, but that can come in handy too. It's sort of a regeneration. So you're charging the battery and it's there easy access. Love that.